Love is less about finding and it's more about building. I've ran into so many people and their mind is set forth on finding the right person. Oh, my person is somewhere out there. I know that God has somebody in store for me. And yes, that may be true. But if you are not willing to build, then no matter what seeds you plant, they will not grow, no matter where you are. I feel like so many people these days get love confused because they mistake love for a specific feeling, but love is something that you nurture and you allow to grow. And then this form of synergy between you and your partner eventually becomes something much greater than just your one being. So I say that to say, no matter where you choose to look, if you are not willing to build, then you will never get to experience the type of love that you truly desire. And I learned this personally because I was with somebody that I wanted to spend my entire life with. I came across this person and I was always willing to build. I knew that we weren't perfect. I knew that we had our differences, but the idea of this person and me being together long term was something that I wanted. And I would say that they wanted the same, but their mind was so set forth on how things should be, the type of love that they felt like they desired, not necessarily on their flaws and what they're going to do in order to become this type of version of love that it is that they want. And that very thought alone always led to problems. It always led to arguments and little things up until we eventually stopped speaking. But first things first, you have to become a reflection of the love that it is that you want to attract. Attraction is the first thing that starts it, but commitment is what keeps it. You will not be able to prosper and grow with your partner if you do not have that form of commitment. And let me just give you guys a little more insight on this word commitment, because I feel like there's so many different speculations in terms of just this word in general, right? But when I say commitment, I mean your ability to go through a specific hardship with a person. And I don't mean cheating. That's definitely has nothing to do with this. But to be able to go through specific challenges and hardships with a person and persist and work through them together as a unit. That's what commitment is to me. Watering your own grass and not running from your problems because the grass across the street looks greener than what's on your side. But one thing that I did learn is the fact that real love will reveal your flaws. If you're with somebody right now and you're not in a constant state of flourishing and growing, then it probably isn't where you should be. Because when I was in my situation, all of my flaws was revealed, the things that I did wrong, the things that I needed to work on. It wasn't just about, okay, I love you, let's be together and let's be happy. It was about, okay, I love you, let me challenge you, let me help you grow. Even if sometimes we didn't understand that we were doing it in a negative or unhealthy way, but the idea or the specific concept of growing itself was always there. Somebody who genuinely loves you will always challenge you and want you to do better and want you to be the best version of yourself. And I feel like so many partners today get confused because this form of challenging one another to become the best version of themselves, they kind of use this as a form of competition, and then egos get involved, and it's just this constant battle going on between two people that are really just supposed to, be committed to each other. And I feel like that's one of the things that you have to focus on is that, just because you may want to challenge your partner and you may want them to grow does not mean that you have to compete with them. And there needs to be a specific line drawn so that your partner doesn't take this personally, because you don't ever want your partner to feel like you're going against them, if that makes sense. Sometimes love itself is choosing the same person every day. And I've experienced this probably once, but I remember I ran into this person and they would choose me every single day. They would choose me. They would care about me. They would love me. They would communicate the way that they should. And once you experience that once, you will never want to settle for anything less. But you have to make sure that your partner is choosing you, even on your worst days. Not just on the days where they may be nice or they may be pleasing you or they may be extra lovey, but even on the bad days where things may not be going their way. Consistency speaks volumes, and that's something that you have to look for, especially in terms of love or any type of relationship that you may be in. I feel like something that so many people don't focus on is whether or not you're actually compatible with the person that you're spending this time with. And you'll know this just based on the tension that's being built in the relationship. If it's easy for you guys to get along, are you more spontaneous? Is she more introverted? Whatever the case may be, You need to make sure that a lot of the things that matter to you align so that there's not that constant conflict between you two. Make sure that your morals align. Somebody like me that's Christian, I can't go and be with the atheist. It won't work because my logic, my principles, my way of thinking is completely different from somebody that's probably atheist. I don't know what they believe, but they may not believe in right or wrong or karma, whatever you want to call it. So why would I put myself in a position to try to mold and reshape a version of this person that already exists when I can just simply go find somebody that's more aligned with me? And I feel like one thing that catches so many people off guard, or at least it discourages them because it did with me, is just actually doing, it takes a lot of energy and effort to put yourself back out there. Put yourself back on the market, to be loved again, to start over, to get to know somebody, figure out their favorite color, figure out their likes and dislikes. But what can you say? What can you really do about something that you can't change? If it has to be done, shift your perspective from something that's negative and focusing on things that you may not like to the fact that you're able to do something with free will. You're not being forced. You're able to get to go and meet new people. You're able to get to go and experience new people. This, in the simplest terms, is a blessing because not everybody has the ability to do that. Not everybody may even have the looks to be able to go out there and just go and be with whoever they want to be, or get the person that they want. So these are all things that we just have to be grateful for. Another thing that you got to really understand is the fact that love is extremely heavy and you both have to carry it. Love is not one-sided. You can't be the one doing all the pouring into the relationship and expect it to last. That's just not how it works. This is exactly why a man plays a specific role and a woman plays a specific role. Those roles are totally different. We know as a man, you're supposed to be the provider, the leader, and all of these other things. The woman, the nurturer, caring, loving. So if you're with somebody that isn't necessarily equipped enough to play their role, then it will be very hard to build anything sustainable. That's why I'm a firm believer that you should not get into a relationship until you're ready, until you're financially stable, until you're, ready to build something that is worthwhile. Now, I'm not saying if you're young, 15, 13, whatever years old, that you shouldn't date around. I mean, you're a kid, you're obviously not going to be financially stable. I don't just date around to date around. I don't have the time to get into meaningless relationships or deal with people that I know that I cannot see myself with. I move with a purpose now. Things have to be more strategic because I simply do not have time to waste. I'm not 21 anymore, so that's just the way that it has to be. And last but not least, the deepest love is not found, it is grown. It's grown through years of being with that person, learning that person, building with that person, being able to come together and do things the right way, putting your pride aside and learning to love this person in their love language. That is the best type of love, and it's something that requires a lot of effort and a lot of energy. It's not something that you're just going to find and feel butterflies and feel sparks. And even if you do, in the beginning, it's probably going to be love bombing and it's not going to, last very long. But just take that in for what it is. If you're in something with somebody right now, this is the person for you. Come together, sit down and talk, and put your differences aside. Even if you're the one that has to put your pride aside in order to get out of, certain challenges that y'all may be faced with, then so be it. Do what you have to do. But if you made it to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you so much. It's your boy Blue Jay Tay. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.